Welcome to the first episode of a likely monthly look at the sign of the end times, where we will together take a brief journey into weirder stories that aren't getting the attention they deserve. If you are someone who studies Catholic prophecy and the Bible like I have, then you'll find this series both interesting and mildly terrifying. So sit back and relax as we dive into the world of the weird. To kick this series off, let's talk about swarms of locusts. Yes, there are literal swarms of locusts in the actual news right now, being overshadowed by this other thing you might have heard about that is happening in the world that itself seems to be right out of the pages of the Old Testament or St. John's Apocalypse. Let's just get right into this. Headlines abound. From the BBC, hundreds of billions of locusts swarm in East Africa. From Business Insider, swarms of locusts force Somalia to declare a national emergency. Skin-crawling photos show how menacing their plagues can be. From the National Geographic, a plague of locusts has descended on East Africa. Climate change may be to blame. Because of course it is. The headlines may be scary, but the pictures are even worse. Check these out. You can barely see the people in some of these pictures, and honestly, they don't do the situation justice. These little beasts are eating everything in their path and creating misery in the poor, underdeveloped countries of Africa. It's truly astonishing to behold, and it's something that would normally dominate the news cycle for what passes as international news coverage in the Western media these days. Except for that other thing that's going on right now. This is truly astonishing to see. To give you an idea of the situation, I'm going to quote from Business Insider's piece on this from a few days ago. Quote, Africa's worst locust outbreak in decades is threatening the continent at an unprecedented scope. And there's no telling just how far the ravenous creatures will travel. Desert locusts are the most destructive of all locust species, known for their speedy growth and enormous appetites. A swarm containing an estimated 200 billion locusts was recorded in Kenya, and each insect can eat its own weight in food. That equates to about as much food as 84 million people a day, according to a UN briefing. Keith Cressman, Senior Locust Forecasting Officer at the FAO, sorry, that's an amazing job to have, I have to admit, recently returned from northeast Somalia and told Business Insider that the locusts are like, quote, a moving carpet of yellow and black objects, end quote, each behaving the same way and packed together so densely that you can't even see the ground beneath them. The insects have already destroyed hundreds and thousands of acres of crops in East Africa, and the UN is calling for international help to quell the crisis. They fear the numbers could grow 500 times by June and reach 30 different countries, end quote. 500 times. We're talking trillions of these things. Scary stuff. There are a few Bible quotes that fit this, though. From the book of Joel, quote, That which the palmer worm hath left, the locust hath eaten, and that which the locust hath left, the brucus hath eaten, and that which the brucus hath left, the mildew hath destroyed. From Exodus chapter 10, verse 5, They will cover the face of the land so that no one can see it. They will devour whatever is left after the hail and eat every tree that grows in your fields. From Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 38, You will sow much seed in the field, but harvest little, because the locust will consume it. There are other references as well. In fact, the Bible is just chock full of examples of locusts destroying crops as the punishment of sins of a disobedient people. Now, to close this short video out, I wanted to end it on a humorous note. The Middle Kingdom is doing something to combat this scourge because, as it turns out, they're dealing with this too. Headline from the BBC. The Middle Kingdom may send ducks to battle Pakistan's locust swarms. Apparently, ducks can eat more than 200 of these things a day, and the government of that country is talking earnestly about unleashing a veritable air force of ducks against the swarms in Pakistan. Even better, though, are the rumors that they'll be using genetically modified ducks with bigger appetites to go after them. Either way, ducks can be more effective and safer to use than pesticides, so I guess we'll see. My only hope is that they don't try to pass these ducks off for human consumption after the crisis has passed. That didn't go so well for them the last time they did that. Anyway, like I said, this is a short video, so let me know what you think in the comments, please. I may do this every month or so if the news permits, as a bonus video on the weekends. Thank you for listening. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.